Yes, good morning, Mr. Brian. This is Toko Robert from Rubaga Campus. This an assignment was supposed to be a group work, and in my group we are two. But one of my members called me that she has left the course, so meaning I will be the one to present the whole content. She's called by name. She's called Madame Majori. So I'll be presenting the whole content. I'm going to be very brief in case of kind of questions or something which has not been understood properly. I think I wish it was a physical presentation. I could ask questions and I could respond to them positively. The first question was talking about definition of IoT. IoT by in full, it's Internet of Things. The definition which I got when I was doing my research is that Internet of Things is a system of interrelated computing devices, mechanical and digital machines, objects, animals, or people that are provided with unique identifiers and have the ability to transfer data over a network without requiring human or human to computer interaction. Now, I want to elaborate something brief about the unique identifiers. By default, when somebody talks about when somebody brings an element of a network or communication over a network, it means that there must be a unique identifier. And when you when you bring the element of a network, the unique identifier which is already there is the IP address. So what does it mean here? It means here that all these devices which will be connected to internet, they must be having an IP address which will make them to communicate. That's the definition which I got. The next question was we are to talk about the advantages of IoT. One of the advantages which I've got here is monitor data. IoT, I think the basic primary advantage of IoT is to monitor data. And how does this one help us? When we talk about monitoring data, there's so many data which we could not be seen by human by by our own eyes, but with the help of IoT, we're able to see. And for example, let's look at the instance of having a printer telling you that you have low turner. I think that's the best example which I can give when it comes to monitoring data. So the second one is ease of access. Now, ease of access, what does it mean? It means that with the help of IoT, we are able to access data anywhere, or we are able to access any device, or we are able to access any digital machine anywhere. It doesn't matter where you're located. You can be in Kampala and you access a device in USA. For example, for those who are doing networking, the network administrators, with the help of LAT, they're able to access their servers, or they're able to access their devices such as switch elsewhere, not necessarily being next to the device. Then speed, one of the third point was speed operation. Now, with the help of IoT, we are able to there is a speed of operation in different environments. For example, when you look at industries, they have that speed operation whereby the work which is supposed to be done for several days can be done within one day or within hours of time. Then you have better time management. Just better time management. Just look at the scenario of having access to news on our phones. With the help of IoT, we're able to access anything timely instead of going physical and see what is happening. And then the third one is called automation. The fifth one is called automation and control. Now, since all these devices are connected to internet, it's really very easy to control them. Because once you're connected to internet, you have the unique appearance of a device or of a object. You're able to control it. Then the third one is saving money. Yes, IoT has really made us to save a lot of money. How do we save this money with the help of IoT? Now here you look at scenarios whereby instead of, uh, for example, if you want to access any information elsewhere, instead of traveling there physically, you can really, with the help of IoT, you can access it where you are located just by some data, and you get connected to internet, then you access whatever you want to access. Then the third question was disadvantage of IoT. Now the first point here is that data breach. Now since IoT is all about things being connected to internet, here data can be accessed by anyone because internet is not being controlled, especially when you have loopholes in your security of, of accessing data. Anyone can access the information which you have there. Then the second point is dependence on technology. IoT entirely depends on technology. For example, when you don't have data, you can't make it the use of IoT. It becomes so challenging because if you don't have internet, you can't access anything. Then there is what we call complexity in operation. Yeah, there is a lot of complexity in operation. How? Here you look at for example, when you're designing something or when you're designing the software, if you just make one mistake like this, that one mistake can interrupt so many processes, which makes it very, very difficult for those ones who don't have all the skills to to implement the use of IoT. Then the last point is privacy issues. Now, the privacy issues comes in now since each person who is always connected to internet uh, has a unique address. There are some group of hackers or some group of people who always sit behind, who always struggle to get information about other people. Once they get the information, they can either get it with the purpose of getting to know you, or if you land on those ones who have the intention of the negativity of stealing whatever you have, they can really do that. So it's one of the disadvantages of IoT. Then the second question was components of Internet of Things. Now the first component which I looked at was smart devices and sensors in bracket device connectivity. Now here what does it mean? This component help people who use Internet of Things to get connected. They use okay, these devices help us to collect whatever data we need from the environment. Then after collecting them, it sends the data which will go to the next layer so that you can communicate. Then there's what we call gateway. Now this gateway, let's try to understand it this way. Gateway really makes you to communicate with other devices on a different layer. For example, when you have, let's take like for example, when you have Ghana Matters, when you get connected to internet, there is a router which sits there. It will be this router to forward whatever information you want to communicate, or whatever information you want to communicate. So this gateway will make you to communicate with other devices which are not on the same network which you are using to communicate. Then there's what we call cloud. Now, since Internet of everything, Internet of things has a lot of information, there is no way we can keep them on our physical servers. It's always better to keep them on cloud, whereby you can save a lot of data. And when it comes to security, it's more secure. Uh, it's more secure in a way that it can't be accessed by anyone, like a physical server, whereby someone can break in and steals your server or destroy your server. Then we have what we call analytics. Now, this analytics is a process of converting the analog data into useful data which can be understood by Internet of Things uh, devices. Then we have what we call user interfaces. Now, these interfaces is the interface which a user can see and perform the task which he or she wants to perform. Then the last question is that we are supposed to get a sector in Uganda with challenges that can be solved using IoT. Now the sector which I looked at was agriculture, and how can it solve the problem of the challenges which agriculture, how can we solve the problem, how can we solve the challenges with the help in agriculture with the help of IoT. Now, with the help of IoT, the first thing which I look here is we always have the challenge of monitoring climate conditions. Now, with help of IoT, the farmers can really monitor the climate conditions and they make a decision when they are supposed to plant the crops. Then there's what we call greenhouse automation. Yeah, greenhouse automation is a kind of farming whereby farmers get some crops and they rear them in a greenhouse. Now, with this, with the help of IoT, the farmer will be able to know the temperature what's supposed to be inside. Then the farmer is even supposed to is will be able to know the humidity which the crop needs to which the crops which are found in the greenhouse are supposed to have for their own growth. Then you have what we call crop management. Now, this crop management, how can we really use the IoT to implement or to improve on the crop management in agriculture sector? Now, here we shall, for example, when a farmer has a garden, what this farmer will do, this farmer will get a device and post the device in that garden, and that device will help to monitor the crops, the growth, or to monitor the how much rain, how much water it needs, or how much sunshine it needs, such that the farmer can adjust accordingly. For example, if a farmer knows that this crop needs a lot of water, the IoT device will help to tell the farmer that, you know what, this crop needs this amount of water for each crop. The farmer can then adjust or can do some irrigation. Then there is what we call cattle monitoring and management. This cattle monitoring and management is whereby a farmer gets the device and puts on the neck, either on the neck on the neck of the farmer, or no, sorry, not the farmer, on the neck of the kettle. And when this kettle goes, the farmer will know where it is located. And when this kettle has some kind of sicknesses, the IoT device will really help the farmer to know this kettle is not doing well, and the kettle can be catered for and be given treatment and becomes good. Then there is what we call agricultural drones. Now, these agricultural drones, they're not just an ordinary drone which people may think. This is a kind of drone whereby a farmer can use, first of all, can use for monitoring the its crops, especially when you have a big farm. And they can even use it for, they can even use these drones for irrigation, and they can even use these drones for applying fertilizers in the garden. Then there's what we call end-to-end farm management systems. IoT, which is Internet of everything, Internet of things, has helped farmers to have that system, management system, which helps the farmers to manage their farms. I beg to stop here. This is my presentation. Um, since like as I mentioned before, one of my colleagues is not there, so I've done the presentation on the behalf of the group, just because she's unable to continue with the studies. So she left the group, and I'm just allowing my group. Thank you very much.